Welcome back to Gardener's Cottage. This week we're in the farmyard garden and we're just in the old orchard. I just wanted to show you these absolutely beautiful daffodils that are naturalised here. They're just starting to come into their own now. And we've had a lovely display of crocuses, which done really well this year because we left the grass really late till we cut it last year. I just wanted to show you down here, we've got the fritillaria coming up, which in a week or two we'll have a massive fritillaria in here. They're quite difficult to see, but you can just see there, just starting to come up. Around here, we've got more daffodils and crocuses. The crocuses are getting better every year. They're just naturalised here. We didn't plant these. They're just spotted around the old orchard with the primroses. But each year we're finding we're getting more, so there's some baby ones here coming on. So the way we manage the grass now is we leave it quite late into the summer now to cut it, which means all these bulbs have appeared that have probably been here for a very long time. It's quite a busy few weeks in the garden at the moment, getting ready for spring and summer. We've just got to take time really to appreciate all the lovely spring bulbs, which are not at their best yet. You can see them, there's lots coming up in the grass. The grass is actually looking quite nutrient depleted. I did feed it one year, but then the grass grew so much that actually it was quite difficult to manage. So we need to leave it a bit on the nutrient depleted side so that the grass doesn't get too vigorous and overwhelm the bulbs. As you can see here, there are lots and lots of baby bulbs. These daffodils multiply, they produce baby daffodils at the underground, but they also seem to seed everywhere. We've also got lots and lots of bluebells that are coming up. Still quite early, but if you can see, we've got absolutely masses of them. Just take you over to see the tete-a-tete. Looking down here, again there's lots of daffodils naturalised in here. We've been tidying up this border. This border does tend to get quite on the wild side because it's at the edge of the garden. It does tend to be a little neglected. So we've been putting some mulch on it and just tidying it up a little bit. We've got a lovely honeysuckle here. It's been sort of dormant all winter, but now this lovely purple foliage has come out on it. And if you look up here, you can hear the blackbird singing. The blackthorn's just come into blossom. It's looking absolutely beautiful. Even though it's a dull day, it's really popping. This border's been a real success. A couple of years ago, Mike went to the flower auction and bought lots and lots of pots of tete-a-tetes and planted them all down here so we can see it from the window. And they give a real splash of colour at this time of year. Just give you the long view. Okay, so that's I think we need to probably spread them back a little bit this year. So they've been in a few years now, so some of the clumps will be ready for splitting, and I'm going to move them back further into the border because the bulbs that are further back flower much later, and actually I'd like to have this real pop of yellow now. It's nice having it in February and March. This is one of my favourite areas of the garden. It's under the old oak tree, and later in the year there could be an absolute mass of bluebells. At the moment there's quite a lot going on in here. These are putting on a lovely display. The snowflakes, which seem to like it, they seem to grow in this quite heavy shade under the oak tree. It's very dry. I think it's really because they flower so early. But as you can see in here, these are the bluebells just starting to come through, and there'll be a mass of colour in a month or two. And under the oak tree we've also got some primroses that just appeared and sort of self-seed around the garden. They're really pretty at this time of year, and they're very easy to propagate. If you look here, there's lots of baby ones, and if you want to have more you just dig them up and spread them around the garden. I will need to do this actually, as they're very overplanted here and they won't really do very much. Come to look under the old Bramley apple tree, and it's really exciting to see the little wood anemones, these little blue anemones that I planted a few years ago are coming up. That's the first one. There's lots of crocuses naturalised under here, and the dog's having a good bark. Somebody on the footpath. and then later on they're followed on by the wood anemones. So the colour, there's a nice mix of the blues and the yellows. I think spring's probably my favourite month in the garden. I love the spring bulbs, but particularly the hyacinths, because they're in such wonderful colours. I've concentrated all my blue hyacinths into this border, and I've mixed them with primroses, and also there are grape hyacinths, which are coming on later. Unfortunately, the grape hyacinths aren't doing so well this year, because I was quite late getting the leaves off this border. But I think they're coming on now, so I don't think they'll be too long behind. But the blue hyacinths are just fantastic this year.